Hello to everyone and the internet. Welcome to Thursday, Maggots, February 7th. Don't let the politicians step on you. I am Nathan Washington, and you are watching Culture Shock, the only show on the internet that knows how to separate an issue of culture from an issue of politics. And this is the news in 2019. Alright, everybody. So, question. Can marijuana increase your sperm count? Perhaps. But perhaps not. There's a Harvard study that even researchers have very noticeable doubts about. That there's still a lot of other factors that need to be eliminated and accounted for before they can really make a clear declaration. But it still has some rather interesting findings so far. Basically, one conclusion is that a higher level of testosterone could lead to risk-seeking behavior, such as smoking pot. Or just behavior that is stigmatized, if not truly risky. And maybe, testosterone does kind of cause your brain to think funny things sometimes, like that, so that is entirely possible. Could be a male survival mechanism, or just a mechanism for, risk-seeking behavior, ultimately leading you to find food and game and all that. Sort of hunter-gatherer era behavior. But the study followed college students only, and therefore is not very reflective of the greater U.S. population, which is also what the researchers also admitted to. But the college students studied the non-pot smokers had between 40 and 50 million sperm per milliliter of ejaculate, while pot smokers had between 50 and 60 million sperm per milliliter of ejaculate. But again, what's that word? Correlation, yes. Correlation does not equal causation. That's still not a concrete conclusion. More work needs to be done. Which is why I gotta wonder why they publicize these studies so soon if they're not truly finished yet. I find that odd. Bottom line is, the study needs more time to account for and eliminate other possible factors. But nonetheless, that's the conclusion so far. And I take no position on this. Just make of it what you will. A pedophile from Palm Island says it's a cultural thing. If that's true, then this is why assimilation is needed. Why cultural assimilation, when you migrate from one place to another, you need to assimilate into the culture. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, you get shit like this. But he is quoted as saying, most children on Palm Island are not virgins. Having sex with a child has become a cultural thing. Money is short. Children don't get so much. So maybe for a bigger sum of money, she would have let me have sex with her. Ugh. If that's how Palm Island is, remind me to never ever go there. But this man's identity and behavior, Edward George Nalajar, whatever, it's a J, who cut his ankle monitor so he could be taken back to prison because he couldn't handle life anymore. Life had become too stressful. Which I understand when you're publicly outed as a pedophile, totally. But in context, it just seems a little, little wacky, little cuckoo. I question this man's mental health. In 2004, Nalajar pleaded guilty to luring a girl into a deserted school ground and bribing her $20 if she came with him to get drugs before he raped her. He also abused 2 other children in Palm Island. Nalajar's most recent application to be released from prison had the support of 2 psychologists. The Courier Mail reported he will remain on probation. 2 psychologists, huh? I kind of feel the need to review their credentials somewhat. Because something about this guy, just red flag. This guy's screwy. There's just something about him that isn't quite... He clearly does not think like most people, or even most other pedophiles. There's something clearly screwy. You don't just cut off your ankle monitor or remove the thing that they monitor you with while you're on probation, and then just so you can be put back into prison. This is just a very unique line of thought that most likely most people won't reflect that sort of thinking. So there's something very unique about him. It's like I said, those psychologists, I think they need their credentials reviewed. Do I believe that it's actually a cultural thing in Palm Island? Well, honestly, I'd say probably yeah. It's probably one of those places that's not uncommon to see in some Arab and Middle Eastern countries. Although somewhat more violent, obviously. But, yeah, there it is. Make of that what you will. I personally think he's a little, that's just me. BuzzFeed wants Twitter to ban meme that compares female Democrat SOTU attendees to KKK members. But the Twitter policy states that such material can only be removed if it promotes hate. And it doesn't really promote hate, it just kind of cutely pokes fun at them because they were wearing all white to symbolize the early suffragettes. Feminism has made so much progress in this country that at this point, yes, we still need it to some extent, but it's focusing itself on all the wrong things. There is no glass ceiling that prevents women from succeeding. Not really. Feminists need to focus on areas where they really are needed, such as college campus rape and dealing with false accusations and admitting that some women would lie. Telling their fellow sisters that they need to treat men better. Of course, I mean, it's not about men, so... but it is true that many KKK members back in the day were Democrats. The Democrats are the party that tried to reinforce slavery. So, I mean, there you go. Just look into the history. I'm not kidding. Hell, you know what? I'll put a link in the description. You can see for yourself. Gladly. The Democrats have always been kind of dirty. And now it's just become more obvious than ever before. So I say this meme is hilarious, and Twitter should just leave it there. Quite frankly, if it doesn't really violate their policy, then BuzzFeed can't do nothing about it. They can just go ahead and be butthurt all day long, and I'll just be laughing my ass off. Final story for today. The EU President Donald Tusk slammed Brexiteers, saying that there will be a special place in hell for them. British MPs slammed him back by saying things like, that'll be after they die. They'll have paradise on earth right now, or something to that effect. Like, they're saying, that's only later. Now they'll be happy. Or saying things like, saying other things that were more or less contrary to what he was suggesting. People say, oh, Brexit's not a threat to the EU. Really? Then why is he so vitriolic about that, if it didn't matter? I think it does matter. I'm not saying it's a full-blown, domino effect, like some are saying. But to say that it'll have no meaningful effect at all is just pure foolishness. It'll have an effect. It'll just have a somewhat lesser effect than what some people say. And as for a special place in heaven for or hell for Brexiteers, trust me, better to beg forgiveness and ask permission, and it is better to rule in hell than serve in heaven. Anyway, that's it for Culture Shock today, folks. I'm out.